Welcome back after that intermission. The next map for GC to play is going to be Bagel, and it is going to be against G6. The GC roster is going to be the same. For G6, it is what you expect if you've been watching them the past couple weeks. It is going to be bot mode and Caps on Scout, Kobe and Soapy on Soldier, Logan on Demo, and Howard on Medic. Bagel, I don't think we've seen Koth quite yet. We've seen a lot of G6 on Bagel in the past when it comes to seasons and seasons ago. It is a staple for them. So excited to see how that will transpire, but we're having a team that's, GlobalClan pretty warmed up. G6, they still have to, bounce back after their previous match where they didn't quite hit the mark versus Franjay Presents, so kind of excited to see how things will transpire.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see it as well. This is actually like a G6's map pick, and I think historically they've been pretty good on Bagel. All things considered, I mean, when you look at their roster, you've got Soapymeister and Kobe. Soapymeister especially just known for being able to get in behind, do anything he wants, whip out the spoon at a moment's notice. And I think if they're not able to keep, I mean, there's a lot of people they need to keep in check this game. If you're GlobalClan, you basically have to keep the whole roster in check because any one of these guys can just pop off at a moment's notice. But definitely Soapymeister and also Logan. One of the, we were talking about demos earlier, and Alex.exe coming back, I would say that he's maybe just a little bit below, because like you have the kind of, I guess, top three demos, Habib, Logan, Artist, but for a while, I'd say Alex.exe was one of kind of those forerunners. Obviously, kind of being out for just a little bit, doesn't really have all the accolades or the kind of time to get any of those accolades. As some of those other players have in the most recent seasons. But I think the demo matchup is going to be very, very interesting, and whoever gets the better of each other. And also, honestly, the Soldier matchup. We saw a lot of great stuff coming out from Grape Juice, being able to just come in and get some bombs. He's going to have to do that times 10, honestly, if he's going to want to have a chance at kind of setting up his team in the same way he was able to against Poop Gaming.
I also want to note before we go live here, because we're at, I think, under the 30-second mark as Preds are rolling in, I feel like this is going to be a game where we see a little bit of a more normal G6, because I know things have been, fine, sometimes fine, another, but overall not the G6 that we've been known to seeing the past couple years. I feel like the times that they've had slip-ups have been during stalemates, oddly enough, and if anything, there's zero stalemates on the side of Bagel, which is going to be one of their more favored maps across the years. So, GC might have their work cut out for him, but we are going live on the first mid, so we'll see who's able to take the time off the clock first and start things in their favor.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see Soapymeister getting pressured over in the house, but it's actually going to be a bomb coming in from Grape Juice and does get onto Howard, so immediately doing the same heroics that he did last time, finding his mark. Now the question is, can Dinko stay alive?
Oh my god, Grape Juice.
Oh my god. He gets another. That is absolutely insane from Grape Juice, just absolutely going ham. But Soapymeister coming in with the bomb, trying to get one rocket in. A nicer from Dinko to stay alive, but Soapymeister comes in with the cleanup. Both soldiers actually just going in super deep to get that kill. Kobe finding one onto Scratch as well, and he's going to be able to stay alive in the back lines. And already Howard has been able to respawn, and they're going to be able to capture up the point because of it. Alexandros does find that pick out onto Kobe, but it's going to be a really great salvage play coming out from the soldiers on like a G6 after Grape Juice was able to take down their own medic.
Yeah, almost looked kind of bad from the beginning with them getting losing Howard and having him shoved back so far, but the clutch up from the remaining players left alive was enough to allow them to get the cap there. So it'll be down Kobe here, so less spam applied onto the side of GlobalClan as they begin to walk up. Nice sticky trap kill onto Scratch for the bomb coming in from Great Juice. Oh, he tries to jump away, but one of the soldiers landed on his head. Another soldier bombs in, and Alexandros trying to clean up on the damage. Some weak players across the field from the side of G6, but Dinko is going to die in the backlines from the side of Papa, who goes for the play and still live. Now kind of linking up with Soapy, who actually jumps in the elevator room, will eventually die. Nice shot from Alexandros in there, hitting the wall and nailing him. Speaking of nailing him, Scratch with the headshot onto Logan means that G6, I mean, they held on to it for a little bit, but they might be biting off more than they can chew. They get the one kill into Alex, but you can consider that a force. That might get the kill into Grape Juice. It's only so good. You really want to get the medic kill, or at least tons and tons of kill there. And using the Uber to only get one, I mean, you're in a forward, that's okay, but you still need to get your remaining respawning players here. And Logan, no stickies available because he's still rolling out, so they begin to walk in. But Alex.exe in a bit early, they will eventually lose him. They at least get the kill onto the soldier, so they are going to lose some, oh my god, I was going to say they're going to lose some explosive classes, but the remaining side of Logan gets to himself. He doesn't need Soapy and Kobe to lock down these doors, and despite it all, G6 are still holding down strong on the opposing half of the map.
Yeah, really great stuff from like a G6, just shutting everything down from GlobalClan there. It is going to be basically even Uber's slight advantage in the favor of GlobalClan, and if they know, this is definitely one of those kind of cases where you can maybe try and get in a little bit deep and maybe get on to the medic, but with Kobe taking down Grape Juice over in the house, that's just going to slow things down. Seems like Scratch is still trying to go for some type of play, worked his way in through house. The Uber has been used, might be able to get onto Logan, but no, wants to try and force out Howard. Howard doing a really great job to stay alive here. No damage really getting onto him whatsoever. Scratch not making the Uber worth it to get onto Howard, and is just going to fall over on the right side, and they're even not going to be able to capture up the point because they want to wait for the respawners, but finally kind of maybe recognizing the fact that if they didn't cap there, they wouldn't be able to anyways, as all the kind of players from like a G6 just come back right back onto the point and are going to be able to recapture it up. Only 8 seconds off the clock for GlobalClan here, and over 2.5 minutes for like a G6.
And both GlobalClan soldiers are going to fall, so the rest of GlobalClan has to back up to their own spawn area, and G6 are holding things down pretty strongly. They do have the ad to work, so it's actually really hard for GlobalClan to try to poke around, because if you go too far, you know, they might just cut through the elevator and like the jump pad thing, and actually they're rotating around completely. They are going to Uber straight into them, and this is what you're kind of afraid of. They're trying to chase down as many players as they can. They don't need to kill Dinko here because, like, you just win this fight in general, and then that's it because of the cap time. So getting all these frags and ignoring the medic, pretty huge. He doesn't even have quite yet, and overall, really nice plays from the side of G6 there to barely let GlobalClan get any time on the clock at all. Only 8 seconds, so, you know, things in the beginning, you know, there were some rocky moments, but they still hold down the fort throughout all the chaos and put themselves on the board 1-0. So going to another mid. I think as per usual, you'll see with Bagel mids, you know, you don't see bombs right off the bat. Both teams kind of take things slow and allow the spam to accumulate before they really go for a kill, and allow the point to unlock as well to maybe get some cap time just when it through that direction if they so desire. But with the point unlocking, very soon, it's going to allow the action to really break through. The soldiers' bombs will kick off. They'll start running across the point, and we're about to probably see it really soon.
We are. Alexander's taking a lot of damage. Just going to have to back up as Grape Juice does get shot down by Kobe over in the right house. Does trade out with Bob Mode, but Darty also going down. Soapy Meister immediately getting in behind. Alexandros onto the medic, doing a lot of damage, but not enough to find the kill. Soapy, however, getting onto the demo, and the medic here is not going to be able to get the kill, but Chris and Caps comes in, is going to be able to get that final kill, and that's just going to be like a G6 once again, taking the mid, getting onto Dinko, and securing themselves Uber advantage.
I'm perplexed at how Howard is alive. I saw where those rockets landed. Maybe it's just the bird's eye view POV, but the way that those rockets landed on Howard, he should be 100% dead, but I guess it's just not quite enough damage that comes out, so he gets to keep his Uber alive. And add for the side of G6, they tried to set up a forward hold, didn't quite have all their teammates there in time to be able to stay there for very long, as GlobalClan did go ahead and break through, but that's only step one. They still have to try to get this Uber out of the equation because they can't necessarily go in for a corner cap when allow their medic to accidentally get killed by the Uber. So Alex is going to die, same with Grape Juice. This could be considered fine to be a 4-man if Dinko lives, even though they didn't necessarily just rip it and bomb in right off the bat. And at the end of the day, you know, G6 will kind of thwart them back, but Dinko having his Uber available means they do have an opportunity to try to push out here. But with the aggression showing from GlobalClan, they're not very afraid. I mean, they're respecting it a little bit, but they're not very afraid of this Uber that GlobalClan has, so we'll see how they're able to do here. Soapy dying is really good for the side of GlobalClan. They might be able to catch out Howard. He's at half HP. They applied early spam with a nice arrow onto Scratch.
Oh my
They're just
God.
bombing straight through. They don't want to use this Uber as a tool to just break in and get the kills. They tried to just bust through and see if they can find a way to get through without using, but they've given up a lot of resources, and honestly, this time expended isn't that great for them at the end of the day because it's only letting G6 get closer and closer to an Uber of their own. So it's going to actually be much more difficult unless they just rip it out right now. And they are. They're going to try to go ahead and catch them off through the house here. Alex.EC kind of alone, gets bailed by the side of Grape Juice. They get the one kill. Trash gonna give him his life. Kobe is over by the point. Air shot missed, but will die to the fall damage. But Uber about to be in play for the side of G6. So they can't be that aggressive and continue to get this cap time. So now things are kind of in GlobalClan's wheelhouse to try to go ahead and go and to continue this force with what little room they have. Grape Juice bombing in, gonna give up his life, probably barely escaping. No one's chasing him. He's fine, and the force is taken. But nice shot from Soapy, taking out Scratches. This is a pause? Question mark.
This is indeed a pause. I mean, it's looking okay for GlobalClan to try and retake this. They do have player advantage. I think just because oh, we do have word that Darty did crash, so it isn't a tech pause, so maybe we don't necessarily know how, this round is going to play out. But I mean, just looking at it, obviously the time is still ticking down even in the pause, but like a G6 have been so dominant so far, just making sure that GlobalClan have no opportunity to even start taking some time off the clock in their favor. They haven't capped once on the second round, and even in the first round, they only held it for 8 seconds. So just absolutely like a G6 kind of controlling everything of this match, at least in terms of this fight. They might be able to because bot mode and Kobe, the respawners for like a G6 are pretty far away from the point, and I think it could be doable for GlobalClan to get onto it and at least start and try to cap it up. That depends on how long they want to wait for the respawners. I don't know how long Scratch and Alexandros had on their respawn time, so maybe it's too long for them to be able to do it before like a G6 can fully recontest as a team, but definitely at least an opportunity for them to start capping at the very least.
Considering Kobe's at spawn right now, they're probably not going to have necessarily enough in the tank to seriously block, especially since Alex is still up and can just kind of sticky caps off on paper. So this should be a conversion for GlobalClan's favor for the most part, unless they like severely beef somehow. They got all the tools they need to kind of apply the damage, and they're trying now. Kobe is finally going to be here, applying some damage. They got halfway there, actually, so really good job from the side of G6 to kind of block things for as long as possible, but they are starting to lose some players, and it's going to make things really difficult with them having slower respawns, as Alex considered going in, full sending it, but decides not to, so the cap will go in GlobalClan's favor. I think they delayed Grape Juice, though, so there's a window for the side of G6 to work with to get this force while they're still down a roamer, but they can't get too close with their medic of their own, because if Howard is a bit too far forward, he's going to get caught by Dinko Zuber. So bomb comes in for Soapy, goes behind the open door where Breakus wasn't quite there yet. They allow them to get the cap time. The Uber is popped, though, from the side of the red team. It is a solo, though. They're not prepared. Alex didn't jump with the Uber, so they're not actually going to catch anything at all, realistically. They are to get some people behind. The soldiers will die from the side of G6. They were off on adventures trying to create a distraction. And even though the Uber itself didn't get too much, they are able to get players elsewhere to be able to get this cap. How long? G6 taking the solo Uber through house, getting Alex.exe, bot mode killing Scratch over on the flank as everyone on GlobalClan is trying to go behind. Now it's their turn, but Howard getting bombed. 2 soldiers for the first surf away is enough to make sure that Howard is a-okay, though. So at the end of the day, GlobalClan are only able to hold on this point for so long, and there's the Darty crash.
Oh yeah, that's where he crashed.
He's just sitting there inside the stairwell, and they're able to get that kill, so the pause is probably going to be, yep, this is where the pause happened, and Darty's back in, respawn. And we'll see how things go from here. He's already up, so a bit shorter to respawn, but probably doesn't really matter that much, as there is a soldier trade that happens over, I didn't even see where that was, but ultimately it's a 5v5 scenario right now as GC are breaking through. They did succeed. They get the trade, but the time was not in their favor. A bit too slow to actually break out. And it seems like the aggression that came from G6, even though it wasn't a full forward hold, was enough to slow things down. So overall, good job from the side of G6 to take things away there, and another round in their favor, leading this game to 2-0.
Yeah, going to be 2-0 for like a G6, and like you said earlier, just looking a lot how we kind of would normally expect them to be performing compared to their kind of 2 previous matches that we watched versus the Greasy Dot Hogs and Franz J. And now against GlobalClan, already up 2-0 and not looking like they're at any risk of going down a round. They are getting a little bit of early cap time as they do have send a couple in for a bomb. Kobe does find one onto Grape Juice, is going to be traded out, and that just buys a lot of space for like a G6 to get some cap time onto the point. Soapy Meister getting in behind as well as Alexandros takes a lot of damage. Soapy now in the back lines is just going to be able to be a nuisance as everyone else in GlobalClan is going to have to escape. They lost for demo, and Dinko is so weak. He's just going to have to completely bait. Alexandros as well, also very weak, just with the melee out to escape over to spawn. Like a G6 getting the point. This time they weren't able to get onto Dinko, but they're still in a really great position to stuff GlobalClan as they try and push out.
Yeah, good job from Kobe that mid. He was a good distraction and even traded his life as well, and it allowed G6 to take tons of room. But this Uber from G6 will take tons of room as well, as the GC Uber did not take they definitely took their time to make sure that Howard got forced, so they're not really able to get too much with it. But In the aftermath, there is a bit of chaos here that they are able to at least take some control of, and these traded players, even though short-term it doesn't really mean too much here, the fact they have faster respawners means there is a window where they can get the respawners, take the fight, and go and try to take this point back, or at least maybe get a kill or two of their own once again before G6 are fully back and returned. Kobe still not quite there yet, so there's less spam applied onto GC as they're beginning to go ahead and try to poke and prod, but 3 pipes from Logan back-to-back onto people peeking and poking and prodding the point will make sure that Alexandros finds himself alone and is going to get killed by the side of Sophie. So the window that GC had on paper is immediately shut down before they're even able to take advantage of it. So really good job from G6 playing against the odds here and still finding themselves victorious. Even Uber scenario once again because enough time has passed, and since the ball is in red team's court, it's only a matter of time before Scratch decides it's Uber time, and he's thinking about it. He's running across the point. The Uber is exchanged, needs to go and find his way onto Howard, will eventually get this force, trying to find flashes onto Logan, will succeed, but Chris Caps is unable to really find too much himself, but at least they have some point presence here. And there's some damage onto G6 as well, so GlobalClan, not too bad, but they probably would have wanted more, honestly, try to find some sort of kill or find a way to immediately initiate, but it's still just a spam battle that G6 has shown before that they don't even need an advantage inherently in this spam battle to eventually win it. Scratch going down to 7 HP is going to be a thing that slows him down a lot, and Alexandros has to back up for a pack as well, but Sophie will be the first to fall here, and Grape Juice is behind. Slowly but surely, GlobalClan is finding the method they need to be able to take control over this point when they probably should have ages ago. Grape Juice bombs in, missed rockets. Howard is going to survive. The ornament is going to hit one of the scouts that will heal up, and even though they do take this point, it took so long that you can only congratulate G6's ability to play on the back foot and keep things in their favor, and even though they capped this up, they're just immediately recapping it. So how long did they really own the point and were victorious there? The Uber comes out. They had themselves at a 15% ad, but it's a solo Uber that only finds a way onto Kobe, and Alexandro is going to die right before the cap gets capped up, so he's going to get extended in his respawn, meaning that the soldier he is traded with, I guess, in general, is going to respawn first, so this is not looking good for the side of GlobalClan. G6, they had disadvantage before in terms of players, and now they have the advantage to be able to go ahead and run forward for the sack coming in.
Oh my god,
shot.
That was so close. Howard just barely manages to live there. So clutch from his surf, but Alex CNC is super in deep. Not going to be able to get the pick. Very, very good attempts from the players on GlobalClan to get onto Howard, but none of them just quite finding the mark. Howard with some excellent surfs to be able to stay alive there, and like G6 going to be able to hold onto this point even longer. There's only 10 seconds left before they take a third round, and they're taking this aggressive Uber in very super deep. They're going to be able to find one onto Alex. There are a couple GlobalClan players on top of the point. Everyone on Leica G6 is going to have to back up and try to deal with them. Nice jump from Alexandros, finding one that caps, and now the Uber does come in. They should be able to clean the house here. Sophie Meister might be caught out here, taking a lot of damage, just barely being able to stay alive. Bot mode is taken down. Sophie going to be able to find one onto Alexandros and stay alive in behind, but just maybe a little bit of hubris coming out from Leica G6 with that aggressive Uber in, not watching the flanks, and that allowed GlobalClan to get some people onto the point and capture it up. A really great job from them to also meet up with the Uber. Now Leica G6, they want to try and repush this before any Ubers are in play. Getting a lot of cap time onto the point. Scratch going to be taken down, but the bombs coming in from GlobalClan doing some damage onto Logan, not able to find the mark though, and Kobe is in behind doing so much onto Dinko, and here's the follow-up from Sophie getting onto the medic, and that's going to be the third round. It took them a little bit longer than they were probably expecting to, but like the G6 are going to make it a 3-0 regardless.
Kobe has the shotgun to win the house duels now. He has his directive and he's gunning for it, so we'll see how things transpire from here if he's going to be more... I guess he's been playing mostly in the houses and hasn't been really going for bombs per se, but he's definitely flanked if he needs to. But another round for G6 means we are at match point here. The train has been rolling in their favor, and we might see a little bit of a faster mid as Kobe. It's automatic. He's going for the same play. He gets the trade. Once again, distraction to allow them to get some room, but because the cap wasn't unlocked yet, G6 were not rewarded with cap time, so it doesn't really amount to too much. Alexandros might die here. Arrowed up is fine for now, but this is looking kind of in GlobalClan's favor.
Is they're going to be able to get some nice kills on to Scratch there, so that's going to allow Leica G6 to have a lot more space with two players of GlobalClan being taken down. They do get up the captain's just going to be able to bully everyone else from GlobalClan back. Grape Juice doing well to stay alive. They're just barely making it out as a Alex.exe is going to be here to respawn, lead the team over to the left. Grape Juice finding a nice pick onto Soapy Meister, so that could be a player advantage, allowing them to try and push in here, but Grapejuice getting absolutely suspended by all the scattergun shots headed his way. The Uber does come out from both teams. Going to be a lot later of a use from Leica G6. The Uber now just finally fading on the point, but Logan goes down. Alexandros finding that one, so there's going to be no demo for Leica G6. And Alexandros bombs in onto Caps as well. That's going to be two really great picks coming out from him, and that should give GlobalClan the point. It does. Kobe is hiding over in house, is going to get spotted down and not able to get a trade, so GlobalClan this time finally with the aggression going to be able to capture up the point.
Yeah, really good drop from Alexandros. Took the flash whip behind, got Logan in the post, and then got one more as well. But the bomb coming from Soapy gets enough damage on the Dinko to eliminate the heals from the side of GlobalClan. So even though they're trying to do this forward hold, they don't really have too much to sustain it. Howard is going to get scattered down by the side of Scratch, as they are going to go for a Hail Mary play and try to salvage, as Darty is the last one alive, but will not find much more than they already have. So at the end of the day, G6 will be pretty much successful breaking through in one try. And honestly, that's pretty good considering a lot of forward holds take more than one try to get through. You know, you end up trading some lives and then use the respawn advantage and really try your best to win try number 2 off of the advantage you created, but they just did it themselves. I think they're definitely a perfect experience of you don't need a paper advantage to have things work out in your favor. And getting the kill on a Dinko there, and Alex and Scratch back to back, and they're not even doing a full forward hold. The air shot onto Grapejuice makes him not land exactly where he wants to, but Howard,
Alex?
one more shot, 5 HP.
Oh
All right,
my
that's
God.
yeah, Howard is a monster. It lives throughout it all. So even though it's a bit scrappy and G6 look like they might have enough in the tank to maybe find a way to continue to at least, you know, find something, even though the push number 1 didn't really work. Nope, gonna be a bit more difficult than that, as G6 have granted themselves an Uber advantage after all is said and done. Into the forward hold once again, and even though they've immediately broken it on GlobalClan, if they just back up, wait for an Uber of their own, Scratch dying as well, things are looking up for the side of G6, and they're looking like they're gonna hold on to this point for a long while.
Oh yeah, especially with Darty being taken down by the sticky traps. Alexandros getting heavily denied, but here comes Grapejuice onto Howard, doing a lot of damage, and that is going to get the force out. So even though they did have to lose the 4, I mean, that's basically just the foreman that you kind of expect in those situations. Dinko being able to stay alive is going to be really, really good as well for GlobalClan. Darty actually getting the headshot onto Caps is going to allow them to get out of spawn safely. They're getting a little bit shoved in there by all the spam headed their way, but Soapy Meister over by the shutter door is going to be bombing in, disconnects Dinko from the rest of the team, doing a lot of damage, takes down Scratch. They are going to be able to get 2 for it, so not the worst deal if you are GlobalClan, but just as long as Leica G6 keep their medic alive here, which they should be able to do so, they're going to be able to just, oh my God, Logan just waiting for an arrow right now, and he is going to be able to get it. GlobalClan do capture up the point. They do have Uber to use at a moment's notice, so Leica G6 can't play too forward here, and now the Uber does come in. Alex bombing in super deep, trying to get onto Logan, who's just surviving somehow, is going to be able to take him down with the pistol, but now Leica G6 kind of close to their own Uber. They're getting a lot of good trades. Oh my God, Sophie just going huge right now with that final pick onto Scratch. Only going to be 3 up from GlobalClan. Alexandros bombing in onto Howard, but he's bombing into 2 scouts. Grapejuice comes in for a lot of damage onto Howard, but not enough to get the kill. Leica G6 controlling the point throughout all of that chaos, and there's only 10 seconds left.
Yeah, the post Uber from GlobalClan, I mean, getting the only one kill onto the opposing Doman. At least it was a Doman, but still 1 kill. But then ending the Uber just straight up on the point when a bunch of people ran behind instead of just like continuing to go forward. They just kind of found themselves in no man's land, even though the point is where you kind of want to be to go ahead and cap it up. And immediately losing 3 there is the nail in the coffin on their ability to come back there that round, as it's a 4-0 in G6's favor. And this is really the G6 that you kind of expect to see. I don't think this is it's not the G6 that we saw in Gully Wash, and it's definitely not the one we saw in Process. So they still have it in them, just gotta to find their groove and shake off the rust. And they're still a very fierce competitor, while GlobalClan on whether it's their quest to make sure they can stay in the realms of mid-invite, or their quest to, you know, break through and find their way into playoffs, their desire to collect wins will end with only 1 instead of 2.
It will end with only 1, but at the very least, they should be feeling pretty good about that 1 victory that they did get over against Poop Gaming. But yeah, like a G6, definitely kind of a return to form, at least of how we expect them in this performance against GlobalClan. Just essentially dominant from start to finish. There were some, I don't think they had a perfect game in it, but there were a lot that were pretty close to perfect. They only let them capture the point for maybe like 5 seconds, maybe 15 seconds for one of them. So definitely pretty close to perfect, which I think the Like a G6 people should be pretty happy about. And if you are Like a G6 fans, like you said, and they just needed to shake off the rust, get back into the swing of things, and they're going to be looking really, really good against all the other playoffs teams. So excited to see those games as they come up. But I mean, otherwise, just looking at the logs for this one, not too many kind of standout things. I mean, you know, there's a lot of standout damage coming out from like a G6, considering they did 4-0 GlobalClan. But otherwise, outside of that, nothing too surprising. I will say in the previous game, Alex did I think he did like 300 when everyone else was maybe around the 200 DPM range. So definitely showing up for his first match back in like 10 seasons. But other than that, pretty straightforward textbook.
Yep, looks pretty standard. A lot of the Ubers that were taken by the side of G6 were pretty advantageous. You can see that players entered the 400 DPM club from farming them all. And it's to be expected in a 4-0, how it's so one-sided. Only side of GlobalClan that, you know, kind of looks like their stats are okay is maybe Darty with his KD, but, you know, it's kind of hard to go in and just, like, one scout's going to, you know, go ahead and run back and not die, right? If you like are doing sacks all the time and are always in the back foot, always trying to break out of the forwards, and just someone needs to build, etc. So, you know, you gotta take the little victories though, the silver linings. But at the end of the day, yeah, G6 on a roll. They definitely showed the success they're able to create, even in moments where they're naturally on the back foot from expending players or Ubers. You know, you always fight those moments anyway, even if they're not necessarily in the best scenario for you, because you never know what can happen when it comes to like spam and getting an accidental kill or something. But it was, I think, very consistent how they were able to, in the moments they were on the back foot, still win. I think for most teams, it's like, you know, you try, but it's not 100% success rate. But for them, it really felt like it. It felt like almost every single time that it was like, oh, it doesn't really look that good for them. Oh, never mind, they won anyway. So, you know, really good job from them. And I guess G6 fans are hoping this is the first of much more to come when it comes to their dominance.
Yeah, definitely the first of much more. And I mean, speaking of that, we are going to be watching Like a G6 tomorrow night in a match versus Vassell. And that's going to be probably... Oh, never mind. We are not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the Franz J versus Greasy Dot Hogs. But that match is still going to be happening tomorrow. So definitely maybe keep a little tab open and check the logs when it's done, because that's going to be a much harder match for them regardless. But I mean, I think that's going to be it for us here, unless we have any interviews. But assuming we don't, I'm just going to do my shout-outs. Obviously, shout-outs to all the teams for playing. Shout-outs to all you guys for watching. Merch, buy it, wear it, show up with Delan in it. Really cool stuff. So check that out and get some. And then otherwise, shout-outs to Dolphin and Jarrett for being amazing production and casting people this season. Yeah.
Yep, definitely shout out to all the viewers for watching and the teams for playing. This is a very stacked season. If you are only catching it now, there's more matches to be played tomorrow and the next day. And you comb through about every week. And most of the time, you know, in most seasons, you can be like, oh, this week is kind of, you know, there's not very many close matches. I don't really know. But this one, there's every single week something pretty important is happening in all ranges of invite, high, mid, and low. So definitely a really hyped season. You don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you can catch as many as you can. And we'll be here to cast as many as we can. But in terms of casting for tonight, we've run out of time. We've already casted tons and tons, and we'll have to save some of our juice for later for the matches tomorrow and the next day. So thank you so much for being with us today and watching. I've been Jarrett, casting with TC Mono with Dolphin on production. Thank you, and good night.